Hey everyone, welcome to Northern Soul. Today I'm going to be doing a review on this Levoit humidifier. So for those of you that are looking for something like this or a vaporizer, that sort of thing, I had this for about 2 years, so I thought I'd kind of do a review on it for anyone looking for something like that. I'm going to leave the description of I got this off Amazon, so if you want to look on there, it's like one of those things. I bought this myself, so just full disclosure, I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that. So this is a pretty straightforward review, and I'll put a link if I can find it below in the description. So I like this one. It's got a lot of things that I'm looking for. I've done reviews on two cheaper ones, but I like this one because it's automated and it's got a large reservoir. Because I hate refilling these things, and I want to just kind of work in the background and set a temperature, not a temperature, but it actually does tell me the temperature, but the relative humidity, so that you can just automatically come on and off as needed instead of just pressing on or off, and then how much fog you want. This is better for me because it's just, you put it in the, I have it in the kitchen, so it's like a living room, kitchen area. So it's got quite a bit of space it'll do, but you can also use it for the bedroom. And I'll tell you a couple features why it's actually good for the bedroom as well. If you're sleeping at night, you need a little bit more humidity. Especially it's freezing here, it's the winter, and with forced air, it dries the air quite a bit, so you need one of these things. In the summer I use a dehumidifier. It's too humid, but right now it's the opposite. So let me show you some of the features. So it has a display. It tells the current temperature, which is nice. I leave that on all year so I could tell what the temperature is in here instead of buying a separate thermostat or a thermometer. And then over here, relative humidity, and that's relative to the temperature. So that's kind of neat as well. Got on off. It's all soft touch screen, which is cool. In the bedroom, if you're like, it goes a little bit dim, so when you're touching it, it brightens up, and then when you leave it for a bit, it dims. In the bedroom, if you're like, I don't want lights all over the place, you just hit display, and it just goes off, so you don't have all that extra light pollution. Display on, and then you have a warmer. You can decide to put warm air. It's definitely not hot or like steam, but it's definitely warmer. And what that does is it diffuses the air quicker in the air. So for like winter and stuff where you got to get that humidity up because you're dealing with a lot of static or whatever, or you're very dry, like your sinuses and that. So you start getting like bloody noses and things of this nature. So too low humidity, not great. You start getting problems, and then too much humidity, you start getting like window start to accumulate moisture, and so you get like wet windows and stuff of that nature. It also too high, it really promotes bed bugs, or not bed bugs. What was it? Dust mites. Dust mites, because they take the air from the moisture from the air, and that's how they drink. So if you have it really dry, they can't survive. As well as mold, that's another big problem. If you have it drier, you don't get that mold issue as well. So my understanding is the safe range, or the comfortable range for a household, is typically 35 to 60. So somewhere in there. I've got this set at 35, so at least I hit the minimum. So I want it a bit drier in here because I'm more concerned about like mold and dust mites than whatever. Like I don't have bloody noses. I'm not. Just you end up more thirsty. That's for damn sure. If it's too low, so that's the only thing I watch out for. But you can adjust this in fives. Typically, anyways, there's a light in the background. You can't really see it because I got the light on over here, but this lights up. There's a LED blue light in the background, so it's almost like a night light. And then you can set, there's a timer function as well. For those of you that are interested, I don't really use a timer function, but it'll switch off. I think it goes up to 9 and then resets, maybe 10. You can tell how much I use it. Okay, so 12-hour timer, and then it's off. It resets to 0. You can pick. You got the buttons down here to say how much fog you want if you want it in manual mode. So I have the one with the warmer on. You can switch that off here. So if you want to save a bit of money on electricity, you can always keep that off. And it's just whatever the temperature is in the tank. And you can just pump it up. 2, 3, you can see it tells you what setting it's at. And then 5. It's got a double nozzle, you can separate them. You can kind of see it here. So it makes quite a bit of it goes for it, that's for sure. And then over here you got the plus and minus for adjusting when you're doing manual adjustment for humidity, to when for it to come on and off. That's more in the humidity setting. So if I just hold humidity, actually I can just hit it. Let me just clear that for a second. Bing. Okay. Now if I just hit humidity, there's an auto feature. There we go. It says auto there, and it does its own, it's got its own thing. I find it's like way too humid for me, so I don't usually go for that, but you can see how much it just throws it up there. So I'll put the warmer on, and so for me, I just hold humidity, and then I can set the level, and then it'll automatically make sure that if it hits that minimum, it'll activate. So once it hits 35 or 34 or whatever, it'll put it up. I can put it up to 40, and when it hits 40 or 39, it'll pump it up and keep it at 40 as a minute. So it goes up by 5s. So you can still set it. I like that setting because it only comes on when it needs to, and then it saves me from filling up the tank if it's like borderline, that sort of thing. So the tank itself, it's 5-liter tank, or I don't know what that means in gallons, probably like 1.3 gallons or whatever. There's a lock on the side just in case it tips over so the tank doesn't fall off. So you just turn it, and then you can pull the tank out from behind. It's pretty sturdy, you can see right there. And then underneath here, this thing here, you just unscrew it. Let's see if I can do it one-handed. Probably not. Yeah, okay, so you can see it. So you just unscrew the cap, just like that. There's a huge filler hole, so I use distilled water because our tap water's got a lot of chlorine and stuff in it, which is, I don't need to be gassing myself like in the Holocaust. So I just use distilled water, and then just tighten that up, and that's it. And then you just grab the handle, turn that around, so you fill it, drop it in, nozzle, and direct it. You can split them up so you can have them pointing in different directions, whatever. And that's it. When it's ready to go, it does its thing. Super simple, pretty sleek looking. There's a couple different versions of it, but highly recommend. Like I said, I've had this for 2 years. It's under $100 Canadian, so that'll be even less for those of you in the States and other places in the world. No idea. So thanks for watching. Hopefully this was informative. I'll see you on the next video from Northern Soul.